beautiful Wednesday morning. On Commanding Your Morning, we will be dealing with the topic, dealing with anger. Dealing with anger. Dealing with anger. Yes, a lot of people will say, but why should I deal with anger? Yes, I'm going to be telling you the reasons why you have to deal with anger. Do you know what? Well-managed anger can be useful. It can be a very useful emotion that motivates you to make positive changes. You get? But then on the other hand, anger is a very powerful emotion. And if it isn't handled effectively and appropriately, it may have destructive results. It may have destructive results for you and for those around you. Anger is a very good emotion, a very useful one when it is managed properly. Yes, when you manage anger properly, it's a very good emotion that when you manage it properly, it helps you to take informed decisions. But then on the other hand, if you do not manage anger effectively and appropriately, I tell you, it can have destructive effects. Now, if anger is not managed properly, the effect is not going to be only on you, it will also be on people around you if it is not managed properly. Uncontrolled anger can lead to arguments. It can lead to physical fights. It can lead to physical abuse. It can lead to assault. And it can also lead to self-harm. Have you ever seen somebody angry before? Okay, let me ask you a personal question. Have you been angry before? If your answer is yes, how did you react? How did you feel when you were angry? This morning we're dealing with anger. Because one of the ways to make your morning productive and one of the ways to make the rest of your day very, very productive is when you deal with anger. In fact, nobody lives on this planet Earth and you don't experience or encounter situations that will make you angry. Just deciding to drive along the roads of Nigeria, especially Lagos, you would definitely be angered by somebody, if not by people who are walking on the road, by another driver, especially downford drivers. Anger, you can't escape anger, but then you can deal with anger. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, be angry, but do not sin. Yes, God knows that we will be angry at some point in life. But then he says, be angry and do not sin. And then in another scripture, he now says, okay, fine. Be angry, but then don't let your anger see the next morning. Don't let your anger see the next morning. Why is God, who created man, telling man to be angry and not sin? Because God knows that anger has effects that are very destructive, not only to the self, but also to the people around such a person who is angry. I have told us that uncontrolled anger can lead to argument. Why do people argue? Serious argument. Because of anger. If you check every argument that you see around you, look at the in thing. Check deeply. You will see that one of a party in that circle is angry. Probably angry that they are not taking his decision or his opinion, and then he wants to argue. Check physical fights. Why do people fight? If you see two persons or more than two persons fighting, check what the cause of the fight is. It is anger. This one is angry that this other person is not taking their decision, or this other person wants to override them. Anger. Physical abuse. Why do people hit their fellow? Why do somebody slap another person? Why do another a fellow hit another fellow on the face? Or why do we stab? Why do we kill? Because of anger. Some guys, because of anger, they rape other people. They rape girls because they are angry that this girl I'm trying to toast or I'm trying to check is not even giving me green light. It's not looking at my direction. And then the next thing that anger tells them is, get that girl down. Anger. Anger can also lead to self-harm. I've seen people when they are angry, whatever sharp object they see around them, they use it to stab themselves. They use it to cut themselves. And I'm like, what? Anger. Why should we deal with anger? Because it has destructive effects, not only on the person who is angry, but also around the environment where that anger is being expressed. Anger was the reason why Cain killed his brother Abel. He was angry that God accepted his sacrifice and didn't accept his. And then what did he think of doing? Anger. Anger said, hey, kill him, kill him, kill him. And then he killed his brother. Abel died because Cain was angry. Anger. All of the insecurities in our nation, all of the banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping, everything is as a result of anger. A group of people are feeling we are not carried along, we're not given opportunity, we're not given power, we're not given this, and then they resort to anger. And then they try to harm people around them. Anger. Anger. What are the physical effects of anger? We're going to be looking at the effects of anger on the human being. We're going to be looking at the effects of anger on the human being. Now, number one effect of anger on a human body is that anger can cause, it can give, it can lead to a heart issue. Yes, anger can result into a heart issue. An angry outburst puts your heart at a great risk. Yes, if you don't manage anger very well, it can affect your heart. According to a research here, it says in 2 hours after an outburst after an angry outburst, the chance of having a heart attack doubles, says Chris Icahn, a medical doctor. He says after in 2 hours after an angry outburst, the chance of having a heart attack doubles. So it means that if you want your heart to be healthy and to be safe, you need to deal with anger. A medical doctor is the one saying this, that in the 2 hours after an angry outburst, the chance of having a heart attack doubles. Of which that means it means that if you check those who have heart attacks, one of the underlying cause of that is anger. Another reason why you should deal with anger, because it affects your body, is that anger ups your stroke risk. Anger ups your stroke risk. If you are prone to lashing out or you lose control, beware that anger makes you prone to stroke. One study found there was a 3 times higher risk of having a stroke from a blood clot to the brain or bleeding within the brain during the 2 hours after an angry outburst. One study found that there was a 3 times higher risk of having a stroke from a blood clot to the brain or bleeding within the brain during the 2 hours after an angry outburst. Deal with anger. Deal with anger. If not because of the people around you, for your own self, so that your heart can be safe, and then you would not be exposed to stroke risks. Another reason why you should deal with anger is that it weakens your immune system. It weakens your immune system. If you are mad all the time, you might just find out that you will be falling or feeling sick more often. And for those of you who at almost every day you are feeling sick one kind, make sure you are checking your anger meter. Have an anger meter. Check the meter of your anger. Is it going up to 120 anger per hour? And reduce it. Anger weakens your immune system. In one study, Harvard University scientists found that in healthy people, simply recalling an anger experience from their past caused a 6-hour dip in levels of the antibody immunoglobulin A, the cells that have the cell's first line of defense against infection. Anger weakens your immune system. Another reason why you should deal with anger is that anger problems can make your anxiety worse. You will become a warrior instead of a warrior. Anger makes you become a warrior instead of a warrior. Instead of you to be a warrior in your field of study or in your area of specialization, you find out that you become a warrior. You start worrying about things because you are angry. Anger doesn't make you think clearly. It only clouds your mind with things that will make you worry. Another reason why you should deal with anger is because anger can lead to depression. When you are angry with somebody or you are angry about something and then you don't get the result that you once achieved through your anger, you start feeling or getting depressed. Anger can lead to depression. Another reason why you should deal with anger, because anger can hurt your lungs. Yes. You might say, yeah, but I don't smoke. I don't do things that would endanger my lungs. Anger too can affect your lungs. A group of Harvard University scientists studied 670 men over 8 years using a hostility scale scoring method to measure anger levels and assessed any changes in the men's lung function. The men with the highest hostility ratings had significantly worse lung capacity, which increased their risk of respiratory problems. The researchers theorized that an uptick in stress hormones, which are associated with feelings of anger, creates inflammation in the airways. An uptick in stress hormones, which are associated with feelings of anger, creates inflammation in their airways. Dealing with anger. And one last thing that I'm going to tell you that why you have to deal with anger is that anger can shorten your life. It is really true that happy people live longer. Stress is very tightly linked to general health. If you are stressed and angry, you will shorten your lifespan, says Freestad. A University of Michigan study done over a 17-year period found that couples who hold in their anger have a shorter lifespan than those who readily say when they are mad. And so with these few points of mine, I hope I have been able to convince and not to confuse you that you need to deal with your anger. Deal with anger, especially in the morning, so that the rest of your day can be as productive and as cool as your morning. I pray that you deal with your anger and you do not allow your anger to have a personal effect on you and then an environmental effect on those who are around you. Do stay tuned. At 8 o'clock a.m. it's going to be news update from your number one business radio, Broad Street Radio. I am Semosinachi and you are listening to Morning Beverage on your number one business radio, Broad Street Radio. Do have a wonderful time. I'll be back at 8 a.m. for news updates.
In your face, all over the place.
We're online 24/7.